VR180 SyncPro has both a manual workflow and an automatic workflow. In the manual workflow, you choose the left and right eye footage or scan paired folders, compute sync, check the image in preview, adjust horizon, projection, color, and export settings, then export the final VR180 video. In the automatic workflow, you choose one pair or scan a batch, then click one-click VR180. The app follows the current settings to check pairs, compute sync, run required checks, build the queue, and render export. Existing sync, horizon, projection, and color results are reused first. During the automatic workflow, you still stay in control. You can pause or stop at any time, adjust the frame difference in preview, change resolution, bitrate, encoder, and other export settings on the right, and apply the new settings to the export queue immediately. The top bar is the global navigation area. Here you can switch between single pair and batch processing, open projects, settings, and help, or enter full screen to give the preview and parameter areas more room. The upper left area is the footage input panel. In single pair mode, choose the left eye and right eye files. In batch mode, choose the left and right folders. You can also set the output folder, camera workflow, and global LUT here. The batch list shows the scanned video pairs. You can choose whether each pair should be exported, check sync, projection, and status, and skip or delete pairs you do not need. The center area is the main preview. It shows the left and right eye images so you can check whether sync feels natural, orientation is correct, and color, projection, or white balance need adjustment. Sync controls compute the timing difference between the left and right eye. Normal sync, interpolated sync proxies, and existing sync results all affect the final frame difference here. One-click VR180 reuses completed sync results first. Frame difference controls manually move the right eye earlier or later relative to the left eye. With an interpolated sync proxy or AI interpolation proxy, the app supports fine adjustments at the 0.5 frame level, and the result can be applied to the export queue. Horizon calibration on the right corrects pitch and tilt. You can use automatic analysis, or enable manual mode and fine-tune with the slider. Existing horizon results are reused when possible to avoid repeated computation. Projection and lens calibration decide how the footage is interpreted as VR180. GoPro and Mission 1 workflows use their matching calibration first. Custom footage parameters have a separate voice guide that explains focal length ticks, lens profiles, aspect ratio, fisheye formulas, and manual view angles. Rectilinear footage still uses linear focal length calculation. The right parameter panel also includes resolution, bitrate, encoder, color, log, LUT, audio, container format, and VR180 metadata. Before export, set the final delivery specs here. AI interpolation in the export settings is final delivery interpolation. When enabled, the app creates images between every 2 frames during export, doubling the final video frame rate and making motion smoother. When disabled, the final video will not increase its frame rate just because a sync proxy exists. These settings enter the export queue, and one-click VR180 also reads the current export settings. When one-click VR180 encounters low frame rate footage and needs sync analysis, it first creates or reuses an interpolated sync proxy. The app processes the left and right eye separately, creates temporary 1440p, 2x time sampled proxies, then uses those proxies to compute a finer frame difference. This proxy is only for sync analysis. It does not change the final interpolation export setting and is never exported as the final video. When the sync result is a fractional frame difference such as 0.5 frames, and the final export keeps the source frame rate. The app does not raise the whole final video frame rate. It first separates the frame difference into an integer frame shift and a fractional frame offset. The integer part is applied as a normal frame shift. For the fractional part, the single eye that needs the offset is temporarily interpolated at 2x, the AI-generated image between each two frames is sampled, and a new intermediate video is created at the source frame rate. Finally, that intermediate video and the other original eye are combined into the VR180 video. This applies 0.5 frame level sync without doubling the final frame rate. VR Preview checks the video in a way that is closer to final viewing. Sync, horizon, projection comfort, and stereo depth are usually easier to judge here than in a normal flat preview. The bottom export area starts and manages the export queue, including sync computation, render export, and one-click VR180. You can view progress and logs, pause, and stop here. Frame difference fine-tuning is done in the preview area, while resolution, bitrate, encoder, and other export settings are set in the right parameter panel. The settings menu lets you switch language, theme, automatic mode, and voice guides. You can also clean sync proxy cache to free disk space. Performance and hardware-related options will also be placed here over time. The help entry shows current state, user instructions, quick start, and version information. When the workflow is unclear, export fails, or a parameter is hard to understand, start here.